Hi guys. It's me again. So this is not easy for me. I have been restarting this video over and over again. And even in the middle of my prayer, I started the video because it just this is not easy for me. But I am walking in faith and I'm just praying that the Lord continues to bless me, and as I continue to try to share myself with you guys, that you'll receive it well. And I pray that in the name of Jesus, that his word is received well, and that whoever needs to hear this word hears this word in the name of Jesus. So I'm starting off, I'm reading 1 Samuel 1 through 3. Okay. And I'm reading about Hannah, who is Saul's mom. Okay. And she was married to a man named Elkanah, but I think I'm mispronouncing that, but I'm going to call him Elkanah because that's just how I'm pronouncing it. Elkanah. Okay, Elkanah. And he had a wife named Peninnah, and he had Hannah, two wives. And this is common practice back then, but don't do it now. Common practice back then. Okay, so from what I'm understanding is that Peninnah had children and Hannah didn't. And Hannah was really downhearted, and from what my understanding is that she was very depressed about it. And her husband, who he loved Hannah very much, used to go up year after year to sacrifice at Shiloh, and he would just sacrifice for his family and his wives, and he would sacrifice for his wife that had children and their children that they had together, but he will also give a double portion for Hannah because he loved her so much, right? and and they said, okay, year after year, this man went up from his town to worship and sacrifice to the Lord Almighty at Shiloh, where there's two priests there, the sons of Eli. Okay, and whenever the day came for Elkanah to sacrifice, he would give portions of meat to his wife Peninnah and all her sons and daughters. But Hannah he gave a double portion because he loved her, and the Lord had closed her womb. Because the Lord had closed Hannah's womb, her rival kept provoking her in order to irritate her. So that just makes me think of, sometimes when we're out of when we don't have when we have people who you see who's doing good, or like you're like, or you're for me, I'd be happy for people when they're doing good. But some people, you might feel a kind of a way, like, oh wow, they're really doing well, and wow, how do they get all this? How are they so confident, or whatever the case may be? Sometimes we think about things like that. So you got to think about how she was feeling, how she's married to this man and she's not able to give him children. And back then, that was very, very important because that's your legacy, and that she had to be side by side with another woman who was able to be, she was fertile, she was just like popping out, not just boys but girls, all of them, just boys, girls, all everything. But the thing I noticed most about this text is that the husband gave her a double portion because he loved her so much, although she didn't have any children. So he gave her just as much as the wife did, and she didn't have any children for him. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes, right? And so, okay, so then year after year this went on. Whenever Hannah went up to the house of the Lord, her rival provoked her until she wept and she would not eat. So that tells me right then and there she was depressed. And I know I go through seasons where I'm depressed, and you look at people, especially the social media stuff. That's why I was off of it for so long, because you can literally have a great day and you can go on social media and you can see somebody living their best life and you're like, wow, I'm not doing enough. Like what's wrong with me, type of thing. And it can really mess up your psyche. It makes you feel like you are in a place that you're not supposed to be. And God really literally has you, if you trust God, he has you right where you need to be. So that's very, very telling too, right? And so she was not eating. So when you're not eating, that means anything. She's not producing, she's not eating, she doesn't even have an appetite. She's so depressed. And I know that some people, when they get depressed, they don't want to eat, they don't comb their hair, they don't take a shower. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it happens, right? So her husband Elkanah, or Elkanah, would say to her, Hannah, why are you weeping? why don't you eat? Why are you so downhearted? Like, why are you depressed? Like, what's wrong with you, girl? Like, you got all this. You have this. Okay, for instance, for me, I have this big, beautiful home. I'm driving a very nice car. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to want for nothing. I can go in the store and pick out anything I want. And it's been times my husband's like, what's wrong with you? Like, you shouldn't be complaining about nothing. There's people out here that's living way worse than you. You are blessed. You don't even know how good you got it. But sometimes, and as I'm reading this text, and he even said to her, like, don't I mean more to you than 10 sons? And that's really, really telling, because it's like he's basically saying, I'm giving you everything you want, but am I not good enough? Like, no. And that's what I would have said too. I'm like, no, don't think that I'm a wicked person, but you're not. You can't satisfy my needs. Sometimes we come into a season where there's nothing, no material things don't matter. The man don't matter. Something you want from God, like how I wanted something from God so much that nothing could stop me from being sad. I used to worship and be depressed, be sad. I mean, I got singing lessons and I dedicated this song to God. And when I sung it, I cried through the whole song because I was crying. I was worshiping from a place of a downhearted heart. You understand what I'm saying? I was worshiping from a place where I was depressed. I was like trying to come out of it. You know what I mean? So like they say, you know, when you're feeling down, you just give God the praise and you just praise through that worship. You just kind of like go through it. And for many, many, many years, y'all don't know this, but for many, many, many years, I was walking around depressed, worshiping God from a downhearted place. Although I had the big, beautiful homes, although I had the beautiful, nice cars, beautiful, healthy children, and a husband that loved me, it wasn't enough. Because what my husband can do for me, I needed something from God. No one can help me. Nobody. No one. This man can't. He's not satisfying my needs. No, I needed something from God. Like it reminds me of Jacob and how he held on to God. He wrestled with God, but he held on until he said, God, I'm not gonna let go until you bless me. That's the kind of faith that I feel like I have. I am not gonna let go until you bless me. I'm gonna hold on to. I feel like the woman with the issue of blood. I'm going through the crowd. You understand me? I'm getting to that. I'm getting to God. I'm getting to my blessing. I'm getting to God because I need something from God that no one else in this world can give me. And that's how I feel like Hannah felt, right? And so once they had finished eating and drinking at Shiloh, Hannah stood up. Now Eli the priest was sitting on his chair and by the doorstep of the Lord's house. In her deep anguish, Hannah prayed to the Lord, weeping bitterly. And she made a vow, saying, Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head. And that's the kind of faith we need to have in these days, in these last days that we're living in, right? If God, I'm to the point where I'm saying whatever job you bless me with, whatever you give me, God, I'm giving it right back to you. If you give me children, you can have them. Husband, you can have them. That's the kind of faith that I'm trying to walk in. Actually, I feel like I have, because I am to the point where I got to the place where I was so downhearted, like Hannah, that nothing mattered. Husband, nothing, none of that. I wanted to see Jesus. I called his name until he came. I literally shouted in my house for days because I didn't want to live. Like I said, I tell people this all the time. I didn't want to breathe. I didn't want to step. I didn't want to walk. I didn't want to wake up the next day until God showed up for me. I didn't care about nothing else. And people get like that. They say, oh, people who are suicidal, I don't care because I need a God. And I don't want to be in this world no more until God showed up for me. And that's what I did. I held on because I knew there was something more than bigger than myself that I can lean on for strength, because my strength is not where it's at, because I'm already feeling weak. I'm depressed and I'm sad. So sometimes we just got to have that faith to kind of look beyond ourselves and say that there's nothing no one can do for me but God, because God's the only one that can do things. He's a miracle worker, God. He is the creator of heaven and earth. He is the one